our time frame is going to be that's permissible to reset it, but let me call it.
Okay.
And, we'll see what everybody wants to do. We have very short time frames in these cases now under the law. All right. Court is calling cause number CCL17 This is a case styled the Department of Family and Protective Services versus Miranda Cantu, Jason Jackson, and David Collins Sr. We are set today for a hearing on a petition for court-ordered services. Ms. Johnson, is the department ready?
Present, ready, Your Honor. We have appearing Investigator Abigail Messer. We have Investigation Supervisor Alexis Lippum, FBSS worker Felshay Biggers, and FBSS Supervisor Amy Rogers.
And I'll ask the parties to make, Mr. Hampton, you represent the mother in this suit, I believe.
Yes, Your Honor. I would have to announce not ready. I've not been able to have a substantive conversation with my client about this case, and I do not believe she's here today.
She's not present for our hearing at this time. For purposes of the record, I'm going to let the parties make their announcements, but she's going to need to make a claim of indigency in order to have you continue on as her court-appointed counsel. But I'll wait and address that after we've heard announcements from everyone. Mr. Mancini, you were appointed in the interim to represent Jason Jackson. Are you ready, sir?
Your Honor, I'm going to announce not ready. The only contact I've had with my client was a few minutes ago. And so I'd like some time to reset the matter so that I can have a full intake interview with him early in the week. And so I'm going to go ahead and announce not ready, Your Honor. He is present on the hearing and for purposes of the record.
Okay. So Mr. Mancini is requesting a resetting. Ms. Brooks, are you ready on behalf of Mr. Collin?
Present, ready, Your Honor. He is here. I don't see him on the screen, but I could be missing him.
Let me make sure I think he is stuck in the breakout room. So let me invite him to come back in. T-minus 10 seconds. I have to wait until this room closes, and I think it'll force him back in here. Okay, Mr. Collin is back with us. Ms. Brooks, are you ready on behalf of Mr. Collin?
Present, ready, Your Honor, and we are in agreement for the reset.
Ms. Fay, you were appointed to represent the children affected by this suit. Are you ready?
I'm present and ready, Your Honor. I don't have any objection to the reset. These kids are with a family placement right now, so they are stable and safe in those placements. So I don't have any objection, but I'm present and ready.
Okay. And Ms. Johnson, with regard to Mr. Mancini's request for a reset, are you in agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, we have no objections to that.
And I don't know who else I didn't ask. Mr. Hampton, I think, is announced not ready, and I'm sure you're in agreement to reset.
Yes, Your Honor. I would request a reset as well.
The timeframes that the law allows, or we're supposed to have set this hearing within 14 days of the filing of the petition. But I think theoretically, we have 14 days from the setting. I think the law says that we have 14 days from the original setting. So I'm glad to explore dates, but we're going to have limited options. So let's do that off the record for a minute. I'll also point out if the appointments that were made in this case are not permanent appointments. If you're claiming to be indigent and want to have your attorney continue on, this goes for Mr. Jackson and Mr. Collin, you'll need to fill out an application form that your attorney can get that to you. It's a one-page application that is an affidavit of indigency, and that can be presented to the court at the time of the next hearing. Otherwise, the law requires me to release your attorneys if I can't make a determination of indigency at the time of the hearing. So I'm saying all that in the context of please fill out that form if you want these attorneys to remain on your case at the time of the hearing. Let's go off the record for a moment and look at our calendar to try and find a suitable date to reschedule this.
I heard nothing.
Mr. Collin, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I barely hear. I couldn't hear you a minute ago, but yeah, I just barely got reconnected again. I didn't hear nothing though. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. There's a request for a resetting, and we're looking at dates to do that. And I'll repeat what I said was, in order to have Ms. Brooks continue on as your attorney going forward, if you want to claim to be indigent, you need to fill out an affidavit of indigency at or before our next hearing. I have to make a determination of that before we proceed at the services hearing under this law that we've got now. So I'm just forewarning you, Ms. Brooks can assist you in that if you want to do that. But that's what I was explaining to everyone, is that needs to be done when we get to the next hearing date. Did you hear me say that? Did you hear all that?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And now we're going to look for dates to reschedule this.
Yes.
Victoria, we have, I don't think this is technically within 28 days or whatever we're required, but we have the 16th. We have a docket. I don't know. I think some of these at least are CPS hearings.
They are, Judge, in the morning. I just didn't know what the whole day kind of looks like, because I think one of those is a final.
I think we have a couple of things set in the afternoon that are, one of them's misdemeanor criminal cases in Mitchell County. And there's another one set at 1:30, I think in a private suit, but we don't have much time in the morning before that final begins, so we could set it in the afternoon. But I don't know what everybody's schedule looks like.
I'm just in your court that day, so I'm available.
Judge, myself and Morgan are both on that trial, that final hearing on the 16th. And so I think maybe we could set it maybe 9.
We've already set a couple things ahead of it.
Okay.
I'm on the final hearing as well.
Okay. And I have nothing else that afternoon, Judge.
I'm open all day. I'm with you in the morning and open in the afternoon.
I'll be there for the misdemeanors that afternoon, so I'll be there all day.
Can do that day.
Okay, so I have no idea what's going to happen in the trial or how much time is going to be needed. So the options we got, I have a 1:30. I think it's not going to be a long hearing. They've asked for 1 hour, I think. And then I have at 2 o'clock, I have some misdemeanor criminal pretrial hearings. There may be some pleas in there. I'm glad to set this late morning. I'm glad to set it right at 1 o'clock. I'm glad to set it after all that, whatever y'all want to do. Why don't we set it late morning? It may inconvenience everybody if we need more time than that, but at least we can kind of see where we're at and get started. And if the other trial is still going, we'll just have to resume at 1 o'clock.
So should we do it for 11:30?
I would say let's plan on 11:30. If all the parents can be there and a little before that, have your applications for court-appointed counsel ready. And hopefully we'll be done with our trial by then. But if we're not, then we'll just plan on starting right after lunch at 1 o'clock.
What day again?
The day is February the 16th,
Okay.
and we'll say 11:30 in the morning on the 3rd floor of the Mitchell County Courthouse in the district courtroom. That's where we'll be.
Oh, actually go to the courtroom this time?
Yes.
Okay.
In the courtroom.
Yes, sir.
And if there's something, you can speak to your attorneys about filling out the application and the forms and preparing for that hearing, and
Yes, sir.
they'll give you guidance on that type of thing.
Okay. Yes, sir.
All right. So Brenda, let's just make a complete record here. We're back on the record. It's my understanding the parties have agreed to reset this matter for a hearing on February the 16th of 2022 at 11:30 a.m. After confirming, consulting our calendars, we will, the request, I guess the joint request between Mr. Mancini and Mr. Hampton's request for a resetting is granted. We will be back in court on February the 16th at 11:30 a.m. to take up the department's petition for court-ordered services. Anything else to address on the record today? Then we are off the record. We'll be back in court February 16th at 11:30 a.m. on the 3rd floor of the district, in the district courtroom of the Mitchell County Courthouse. Thank you all for being present today. Goodbye, everyone.
Mr. Collins, oh, can you give my
Yeah.
a call real quick?
Do what?
Sorry. Can you give my office a call?
Yeah. Right now?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right, more. All right.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Judge.
Thank you all.
right.
Goodbye, Belinda.